Here we have one of the matriarchs of Good Shepherd, and we're going to interview Miss Sybil Runderson for Good Shepherd Day. Uh, some of you may know or may not know is that Sybil Runderson is a lifelong member of Good Shepherd, along with the family that her lineages comes from Audrey Howard Burden, and then from her was Korean Burden Davis. And so the lineages goes back to 1899. And so here are some of the questions that we have. When did you join Good Shepherd?
I was born in Good Shepherd by Audrey Burden Howard. And it started with her grandmother, Mary Jane Price, in the 1800s. And then she had my grandmother, Corinne Burden Davis, and then my mother, Audrey B. Burden Howard, excuse me, and that started back way in 18, and I am the fourth generation of the family, originally starting with Good Shepherd when the slaves was going to Trinity.
You make mention of Trinity. That was your great grandmother a part of the people that attended the gallery in Trinity?
No, she was there. From what I understand, she was there at Trinity, member of Trinity, because she was born, as she said, a free slave. And they attend when they first formed, but she wasn't with the section that was born.
Okay. So now that I kind of have that history of when that you're always always been a member of Good Shepherd, what are some of your first memories of attending Good Shepherd?
Since I am one of the oldest member of Good Shepherd, because I was born originally in there. I'm in my 90s also, but I was born in there because my foreparents was there. Plus the people who.
Yeah. But what was it like for you as a child attending Good Shepherd? Because it was not where it is now. Good Shepherd was what?
State and Warren.
State and Warren.
Really face State Street in the corner of Warren and on the corner of Warren and State.
What do you remember?
What I remember, my first minister of being under someone was Father Fulford. And since it was a small gathering of Episcopalians in Maysville, and all of them seemed to be burdens of their relation to burdens. My mama went to the mission, and was now son and daughter hall on Wanaka Avenue, and his name Papa Hall, and George Hall School is named after him, George Alexander Hall. And the members from out here in Maysville was all the Burdens, because my mama had 4 brothers and herself was 5 children by my grandmother Corinne. We call her Nana. And all of the 5 children was at Good Shepherd, still is part of, if they aren't deceased or moved somewhere. But all the Burdens during that time was living, and that was my mama. And she had 4 brothers: Uncle Liston Burden, Vernon Burden, who is the grandfather of the Baileys and Flakes. We that's my first cousin, and my sister's children, the Irbies, became, and Uncle Alfred, only one living is his daughter, and Uncle Wendell didn't have a child, but Mama had 5, and Uncle Vernon had the most, 8. And that's the Baileys and the Andersons and everybody.
Okay. So now, were there certain events that happened at Good Shepherd while it was on State Street that you remember?
To my memory, the first thing exciting, but it wasn't exciting to the elder people, that was grown people, I call. Then was there, the church caught on fire on State Street, but Mr. Alexander, Mr. George Taylor, Mr. Velasco, Malone, they were right there to save the eagle that we still have in the church, on Down Street, and the Bible and the cross, and the furnishing, because of the way the church was made. They had a beautiful interior church.
Speaking of the church, and at the time that before the fire, did they have the stairs going up to the altar, or did that come after the fire?
No, we had to go up 2 steps to a platform where it was, and the choir they had a choir on each side, because they had benches on each side of the choir, and then we had the altar behind the choir. That's where we knelt. That was the 3rd thing. And one thing, the elderly people or the older people would go first. We would have a 1 aisle going up to the altar. And when going up to the altar, the elderly people would go, then the younger people would go, and the last people would be the vestry. They would have everything, and all the full foot, and then Father Cole was after, to my memory. Father Cole came.
Now, what did they do when they had the fire and all of the people that you mentioned helped bring it back there. Did they continue to have service or did they do service somewhere else?
No, service was still there because the way the church was made, they only had 1 hour. When we got to the front, they had a side wall going up to the side of the church, and the front door went straight from the street up to the church. Inside the front door, you go in the side door, and that's where the Sunday school and they had a little place for you to pray back there for the Sunday school. But we had ministers. Father Fulford was the first one I remember. The other time, it was always someone that they sent to us. That was a one-day thing. They didn't know us.
Now you said that you remember that church membership consisted of the Burton and Maysville people there. How, at that time, most people didn't have cars, so how did they do service?
I told you that Papa Hall would have service at the mission. They call out here. We didn't have no cars, and Father Fulford had a little car. I don't know the name of the car, but it had a rumble seat, and the children would come out here, and that was our Sunday school because we didn't have really Sunday school until Father Cole got there. Bob Fulford would teach us when at the church when we had it.
Were back in those days there were women and children allowed to participate in service?
Yeah, the women were always first going up to the altar for communion, and then the younger people would go, and all children, when they got to be 13, they supposed to know their confirmation before they get they couldn't take communion.
So it was not like what we do now where even babies take communion.
Yeah, no.
Back in your time, only people that received communion were the people that were confirmed, meaning they were at least 13 years old and had been confirmed.
And we didn't have any girls to be acolytes at that time. If my memory served me, Daisy Branch and Zimmer Alexander, Father Cole would teach them how to fix the tray that they brought in there for him to serve the communion. And Father Cole, well, at the time Father Fulford was there, I wasn't taking no communion because he was there before I was 13.
So
I didn't get to take. I took communion.
yeah. So Daisy and Zimmer were basically the first altar guild.
Yeah, altar guild in there. But the women of the church, they were serving. They served, and the men really kept the church going. And the little and if the little boys didn't get confirmed, they couldn't even go up on the altar to get the
communion. Okay. Well, now what about festivals? Do you remember festivals?
the only festival we had it started when we got to down the street. The festival we had was at Mardi Gras on Mardi Gras Sunday. Uh, the black Mardi Gras queen and king would sit out on the front of the Elks Club that was across the street from the church. And the ladies, the altar girls, they would they have a table out there. They would sell little candy apples and my grandmama would fix gumbo and Miss Alexander, Miss Emma Alexander, would fix that and rolls and things, and Daisy Branch mama would have all them rolls, and my grandmama was a cook, so she always had something nice for the children to get to buy. That was all together. That was to be on Sunday, Mardi Gras Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. That's it as far as I know. But the big thing came when Father Thompson came, and we went to Beckwith Lodge in a bus. He got a bus, and that's the first time I ever been to Beckwith Lodge. And we would visit. He even got us to visit Wilma Hall. Of course, it was announced, but Wilma Hall was that was where the other children went, other Episcopalian, and we were only black. They put everything, we was only black Episcopalian except for the priests. Father Cole, or me, was the first black priest. And he believed in high mass. That's really weird. And he was strict on that. He started a little daycare for the children, for the Episcopal children that was at our church.
Okay. So, what would be your fondest memories of Good Shepherd?
While I was still on State Street, the members were there, and we all came in, and you always would know that Mrs. LaFleur and her sister, Miss Beck, Miss LaFleur had on that red hat, and with her children, and Mr. Belasco would be on the back seat and on the other side, because it didn't have one aisle going in there in the church, in the sanctuary, because the back part was where choir rehearsal and then Miss Stewart with Nicholas family was one of the oldest families in there, and she was our organist. and Miss McLean was there. Miss McLean was teaching us when we were supposed come in. Now, I don't see that, and I think that we could do it when we come into church is to bow to the church and kneel and make the sign of the cross. They need that. I miss seeing in the new church because it's in the round. And as Father Cole said, if you want to see everything, be on time. And my brother, James, my oldest brother, and Charlie Nicholas Delmo. One was tall, one was short, and they used to go through the side door, come in through Sunday school room, and keep going, and see that they didn't, they wasn't altar boys at that time. See that they served on the altar, because the boys was there, and on time, and they would rob the fig tree and keep going, and Miss Zimmer would always see them, know who it is. The other thing, going in the church, we would always want to go in the church. You wouldn't go inside the sanctuary. You go anywhere in the back. But if you went in the sanctuary at that time, we had something on our heads. And since the Alexander's a long time member, and it all mixed up, everything was family orientated. One kin to you on one side, the other side is kin, but more people are in there. But like the Malones and Nicholas and Mr. Fields and that Sadie Braggs, they were in her family, long time members, and we did what we were supposed to do. Sadie was a Sunday school teacher, but she was. I was there, Sunday school teacher, and Mr. Ben Wilson was there, and I think Edwina Wilson was one of his nieces or something. Was a Sunday school teacher. I used to pick up the children. By that time, we had a car. I didn't have a car, but I had a car that I could drive to come and take the children. I would pick up the Nicholas children and the Berry children, Natalie and Ray Berry's children. And they are still performing at the church. Sadie is there, and just so many of them had come to all the Alexanders. They have different last names. I can't remember, but they could tell you, you're Burden, or you're Wilson, you're Fields, you're whatever, Nicholas. Because Mr. Malone had used to use the back of the church where the Sunday school were. He was a tailor, and the mechanics, but I say Withers because it's mechanics that is taking the Withers and the William name on, because I believe that's them old time. Because remember, we did just say the Burdens. And you know, you came to Burdens, the Colemans, um, the Lascaux, they all had a duty, and you know what they were going to do to perform. And we didn't have, you really didn't, we didn't have no ushers because it was one door for you to come in. If you came through the front door, we there, and Mr. Sidney Alexander would always pass out little cards and have you invite you back to the church and thanks for coming. And Father Cole made sure he's seen it. And if you miss church, it was just like going to school. You had to have a reason to miss church. We're going somewhere. Just not lollygagging around there and say, I didn't feel like it. You came to church because he was right there checking on you. I guess we didn't have all this television. We didn't have the football games going. So that's one thing that they clear out.
Now, what about special occasions such as midnight mass at church? What would be?
The midnight mass, they would have the people to, we would come and it was really midnight. We would sing and have everything at 12 o'clock on the 24th, going in 25th, the bell would ring and we would sing and we would dismiss. And then by my family living just about 3 blocks from the church, we would go to other people's house and they come to our house because there was a lot of children there, 5 of us. And we would have gumbo and a toast to the new Christmas coming in and wait for Santa Claus to come. But the children would be up, but the little ones would be up, not the others. And especially those that was in college, they would come to church. That was their thing, to come there. And we partied all the rest of Christmas Day.
Did y'all have eggnog or make lady fingers?
We had at my house, at Mama's house, and Daddy, we had eggnog. And with the ladies' thing, that was called Charlotte Rouge. We would have Charlotte Rouge. That's for the children because the eggnog was flavored with the favorite ingredient, alcohol.
Right.
We partied all there. And really, I don't recall going back to church on Christmas Day. But when I had a son, I went to, I didn't go to midnight mass because he was a baby. But we did go, and he was christened on Christmas Day, and Mr. I can't think of his name now, was there, and he was the godfather, and Miss Beck Lovey, Miss LaFleur's sister, she's my son's godmother. And that was the end of my Christmas Day, going to church on Christmas Day after But we got to out in Tolmanville, and it changed. It used to be when they first got out there, they was still having church at 11 o'clock to go in. We sang. Why? At that time, there was Mr. Whitfield was playing the organ.
Do you have any memories, fond memories of Good Shepherd of as it is on Donald Street here?
Yeah. And Deborah and Sadie, all of them was there. But we have a festival now, and Tom Withers would always say celebrities. You was queens or kings or maids of honor in the church. It was part of the Mardi Gras with somebody in that church was always part of the Mardi Gras parade, and it was great to see him.
Well, as we kind of close here, is there any advice that you would give us that you would pass on to people?
When I asked about it, we are willing, and we'll load you down with any particulars you want to know about or anybody. And we can point out some of the old members that maybe the family you came there, that was family brought you there, or did you see us? Nobody you know there. You just wanted to come to see us because both churches, the interior